Welcome to Famous People, English Stories. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Today, we follow the inspiring story of Anya, a young woman who overcomes challenges and discovers how to speak English fluently. Through her journey, we'll learn valuable lessons about courage, practice, and the power of believing in yourself. Let's dive into Anya's story together. Chapter 1: The Dream Begins. Once upon a time in a quiet, colorful village in India, there lived a young woman named Anya. She was 24 years old, full of energy, and always curious about the world beyond her village. She worked as a school librarian, surrounded by books and stories, but there was one thing that always made her nervous: speaking English. Anya loved the English language. She read English novels, watched English movies, and even followed English-speaking YouTubers. She could understand most of what they said, especially when they spoke slowly. But speaking? That was the hard part. Every time she opened her mouth to say something in English, her heart raced. Her tongue froze. Her mind went blank. She often practiced alone in her room. She stood in front of the mirror and tried to speak. "Hello, how are you? What do you like to do? Can you help me?" But it never felt natural. She would stop and correct herself too often. She was afraid of making mistakes. And so, she stayed quiet whenever she met tourists or spoke to anyone outside her village. One day, everything changed. Anya's village was hosting a small international festival. People from different countries came to enjoy the culture, food, and traditional dance. A group of tourists arrived from Canada, and one of them, a young woman named Emily, came into the library where Anya worked. Emily smiled and said, "Hi. Do you speak English?" Anya froze. She wanted to say, "Yes, a little," but instead she just nodded. Emily smiled again. "I'm looking for books about local history. Do you have anything like that?" Anya's heart pounded. She pointed to a shelf silently. Emily followed her, still smiling. She didn't seem to mind that Anya didn't speak. But Anya minded. She went home that night, frustrated with herself. She looked in the mirror and said, "Enough is enough. I want to speak English. Not just read it. Not just understand it. I want to speak it. Fluently. Confidently." From that moment, her journey began. Anya made a promise to herself: she would speak English every day. Even if she was scared. Even if she made mistakes. Even if her voice shook. She would not stop until she became fluent. She started with small things. Every morning, she talked to herself while brushing her teeth. "Today is a beautiful day. I will do my best. I am learning English." Then she began keeping a diary, only in English. She wrote about her day, her dreams, her fears. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Next, she downloaded English learning apps. She watched short videos with subtitles, then without them. She paused and repeated. She shadowed the speakers, saying the same words, at the same speed, with the same expression. It was difficult. But she kept going. Then came her biggest step, speaking with others. She found an online speaking club. It was free and full of learners from all over the world. At first, she just listened. Then, one day, she unmuted her mic. Her voice trembled. "Hi, my name is Anya," she said. Her face turned red. Her palms were sweaty. But nobody laughed. Nobody corrected her harshly. Everyone welcomed her with kind words. "Nice to meet you, Anya. You speak well. Keep going." That small moment lit a fire inside her. For the first time, Anya felt the joy of speaking English and being understood. Her confidence started to grow. At the next village festival, she volunteered to guide English-speaking tourists. She practiced her lines ahead of time. "Welcome to our village. This is a famous temple. We hope you enjoy the food." Her voice was still nervous, but her smile was wide. Emily came back that year, and this time, Anya didn't just nod. She greeted her warmly and gave her a tour of the library in full English. Emily was amazed. "Wow, Anya. Your English is amazing now." Anya laughed. "Thank you. I've been practicing." Her journey was still going. There were still mistakes, still moments of doubt. But now, she believed in herself. Every word she spoke was a step forward. And the best part? She was enjoying it. Speaking English was no longer a fear. It was her new voice, one she had always carried in her heart but finally set free. Chapter 2: Practice Makes Confidence. After her successful interaction with Emily, Anya felt something new inside her, hope. A kind of energy that pushed her to try harder, go further, and speak more. Every morning, she looked into the mirror and said, "I can do this. I will speak English. I am not afraid." She began changing her daily routine to fit her new goal. Instead of listening to music in her native language, she now listened to English podcasts while cooking. While walking to the market, she spoke quietly to herself. "I need some apples. Where is the dairy shop? I will buy milk and bread." At first, people in the village looked at her with surprise. Why was she talking to herself in English? Some laughed. Some thought she was showing off. But Anya didn't stop. She knew that fluency wasn't about being perfect. It was about practicing without fear every single day. One evening, she joined her online English club. The topic of the day was, "Describe your dream job." When it was her turn, Anya took a deep breath and began. "My dream job is to become a travel guide for people who come to my country. I love culture and meeting people. I want to help them understand our traditions and feel welcome." She made mistakes. She paused to think. But she didn't stop. And when she finished, people clapped. "Great job, Anya. You explained your idea clearly. You're improving fast." That night, she wrote in her English diary, "Today, I spoke without fear. My dream job feels real now." The next day, she met a challenge she didn't expect. At the market, she saw two foreign travelers asking for directions. The shopkeeper didn't understand them, and they looked confused. Anya felt her heart beating fast. Should she go and help? She walked over slowly and smiled. "Hello, can I help you?" The man turned to her and said, "Yes, thank you. We're looking for the old fort. Do you know the way?" Anya nodded. "Yes, I can show you. It is near the river, just 10 minutes walk from here. I go that way. Come with me." They smiled. "You speak good English." Anya smiled back. "I'm learning. Every day." On the way, they talked. Simple things. "Where are you from? Do you like India? What is your favorite food?" She made some grammar mistakes. She forgot a word or two. But she kept going. The conversation lasted just 15 minutes, but for Anya, it felt like magic. Later that week, her school principal called her. "Anya," he said, "I heard you helped some visitors in English. That's wonderful. We are starting a new after-school English club for students. Would you like to help lead it?" Her eyes widened. "Me? But I'm still learning." He smiled. "That's exactly why you're the right person. You understand the struggle. You know how to learn step by step." And so, Anya became a mentor. Every Wednesday, she stood in front of a small group of students. She taught them simple phrases. "How are you? What do you like? Can you help me, please?" They laughed, practiced, and even sang English songs together. Anya didn't act like a perfect teacher. She shared her journey. "I also get nervous," she told them. "I still make mistakes. But I try every day. That's how we grow." Her students respected her. They felt safe to speak. Some were shy at first, but when they saw Anya speak with courage, they followed her example. One girl, Priya, raised her hand one day. "Didi," she said, "I want to speak English like you." Anya smiled gently. "You will. Just start today." That evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Anya sat by her window. She thought about the path she had taken. From a quiet librarian afraid to speak, to a confident woman helping others. She whispered, "Practice makes confidence. Not perfection. Confidence." Her English still wasn't perfect. She still searched for words, still corrected herself. But now, she wasn't scared. She had found her voice. And that voice was growing stronger, one word at a time. Chapter 3: The Big Stage. The days were passing quickly, and Anya's English was growing stronger with each sunrise. Her diary pages were now filled with confident sentences. She spoke more fluently during her online sessions. She helped her students form simple conversations and answered their questions with ease. But one day, a challenge arrived, one that made her heart skip a beat. The village council was organizing the annual cultural day, a special event where locals presented dances, songs, and stories for guests and tourists. This year, the council had a new idea. They wanted to welcome the international visitors in English. And they had chosen Anya to be the host. When she heard the news, she froze. "You want me?" she asked. "Yes," the council leader smiled. "You speak well, and you represent the future of our village. You've inspired many already. Now it's time to inspire more." Anya didn't say yes right away. That evening, she sat alone with her thoughts. Could she really stand on a stage and speak English in front of a large crowd? What if she forgot her words? What if she made a mistake? But then she remembered something she always told her students: courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to keep going despite it. She opened her diary and wrote, "I'm scared. But I will try. I won't wait to be perfect. I'll speak with heart." And so, her preparation began. Every morning, she practiced her lines aloud. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Cultural Day celebration." She recorded her voice, listened, and corrected herself. She stood in front of her mirror and practiced hand gestures, eye contact, and breathing calmly. One evening, while practicing, her younger brother peeked in. "Dee, you sound like the people on TV." She laughed. "Really? I still feel nervous." He nodded. "But you're doing great. I'm proud of you." The night of the event arrived. Colorful lights lit up the village square. The stage was set. People from many countries were in the audience. Traditional music played in the background. Anya stood backstage, holding a small cue card with her opening lines. Her heart was pounding. Her hands were cold. She closed her eyes and whispered, "I'm ready." She stepped onto the stage. The lights were bright, and the crowd was quiet. She took a deep breath and smiled. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen," she said slowly, clearly. "Welcome to our beautiful village and to our Cultural Day celebration. We are so happy to have you here." She paused. The crowd smiled and clapped. Anya continued, "Tonight, we will share our music, our dances, and our traditions with you. We hope you enjoy every moment and feel the warmth of our hearts." As she spoke, her voice grew stronger. Her fear melted away. She felt connected with the audience, with her village, and with herself. After her speech, the performances began. Anya returned to the microphone between each act to introduce the dancers, singers, and storytellers. She even spoke with some of the visitors during the break, answering their questions about the festival. One tourist, a man from Australia, said, "You have a beautiful way of speaking. Are you a teacher?" Anya smiled. "I teach English in a small club. I also learn every day." "You should think bigger," he said kindly. "Your voice can reach the world." Those words stayed with her. After the event, the council leader came to her. "You made us proud, Anya. Your words welcomed the world." Her family hugged her. Her students clapped. Her diary that night said, "I spoke English on a stage. I didn't freeze. I didn't hide. I did it." That night, Anya realized something important. English fluency wasn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It was about bravery. It was about believing in yourself enough to be heard. She had found her courage. And it changed everything. Chapter 4: Beyond the Village. The stars sparkled bright the night after the Cultural Day event, but Anya couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed every moment on stage, her words, the smiles, the applause, the confidence blooming inside her like spring after a long winter. She sat by her window, looking out at the quiet village streets. In her hand was her diary, open to a fresh page. Tonight, I saw a new version of myself. I am not the same girl who was afraid to speak. I am still learning, still growing, but now, I believe I belong in the world beyond this village. A week later, something unexpected arrived, an email. It was from a woman named Lisa, an international education advisor who had attended the festival. She wrote, "Dear Anya, I watched you speak at the Cultural Day event. Your clarity, confidence, and heart were unforgettable. I'd like to invite you to apply for the Global Youth English Ambassadors Program. It's for young leaders who use English to connect communities. We believe you are one of them." Anya read the message 3 times. She couldn't believe it. She ran to show her family. Her parents looked at the email, then at her, tears forming in their eyes. "This is your moment," her mother whispered. But then came the fear. The application required a video introduction in English, a personal essay, and an interview with a panel of native speakers. The old doubts returned. What if I sound silly? What if I make mistakes? What if I fail? For 2 days, she avoided the topic. She cleaned the house. She helped in the garden. She didn't open her diary. Then one evening, Priya, her student, came to her and said, "Didi, remember when you told me to be brave and speak even if I make mistakes?" Anya nodded slowly. "Well," Priya said, "maybe now it's your turn." That night, Anya opened her diary and wrote, "I will not let fear decide for me. I will try. Because trying means I believe in myself." The next morning, she got to work. She spent hours writing her story in English, how she had once been afraid, how she practiced every day, how she helped others find their voice. She recorded her video, smiling through nervous breaths. "My name is Anya. I come from a small village with big dreams." She submitted everything with shaking hands and a racing heart. Weeks passed. Then, an email. "Congratulations, Anya. You've been selected for an interview." She gasped, covering her mouth. Her family hugged her. Her students danced around her. But her nerves returned quickly. The interview would be with 3 professionals from the US, Canada, and the UK. She prepared by practicing questions out loud, watching interview tips online, and even recording herself to improve her pronunciation. She focused not on being perfect, but on being real. The interview day came. She sat in front of her old computer at the school office. Her hands were cold. Her throat felt dry. But when the screen lit up with smiling faces and greetings in English, something inside her relaxed. They asked her about her journey, her dreams, her work with the students. "I believe," she said slowly, "that English is not just a language. It's a bridge. And I want to help more people cross that bridge." After the call, she felt unsure. Did she do enough? Did they understand her heart? 3 days later, the final message arrived. Dear Anya, we are thrilled to welcome you to the Global Youth English Ambassadors Program. Your story, your voice, and your passion touched us deeply. Tears fell from her eyes as she read the words. She ran to her parents and whispered, "I got in." They held her close. The entire village gathered the next evening to celebrate. The school organized a small ceremony. Anya stood on the same stage again, not as a host, but as a hero. She spoke in English, voice full of joy. I started this journey afraid to say even one sentence. Today, I'm ready to speak to the world. And the world was ready to listen. Chapter 5, A World of Words. Anya stood at the airport, clutching her travel documents and a small notebook. Her parents were beside her, eyes full of pride and tears. This was her first time leaving India, her first flight, her first trip abroad, her first steps into a bigger world. She was on her way to London. The Global Youth English Ambassadors Program had selected 20 young people from around the world to attend a month-long workshop in England. They would stay on a university campus, attend leadership sessions, practice English with native speakers, and share their cultures through stories and presentations. As the plane soared into the clouds, Anya stared out the window. She whispered to herself, "This is really happening. I'm not dreaming." When she landed in London, everything felt like a movie. People spoke quickly. The announcements at the airport were fast and sometimes hard to catch. The roads were different, the weather cooler, the food unfamiliar. But the people, oh, the people were kind. At the welcome center, a cheerful woman greeted her. "You must be Anya. We're so happy you're here." Anya smiled. "Thank you. I'm very excited. And a little nervous." "That's natural," the woman replied. "Just speak from the heart. You'll do great." Her roommate, a girl named Naomi from Kenya, welcomed her warmly. "We're both far from home," Naomi said. "Let's be brave together." Over the next few days, Anya attended workshops on storytelling, cross-cultural communication, and public speaking. Every activity was in English. At first, she struggled to keep up. Some accents were hard to understand. The slang confused her. And sometimes, she had to ask people to repeat themselves. She felt embarrassed. One evening, after a long day of presentations, she sat on a bench in the campus garden, head down, notebook closed. "I feel small again," she wrote. "Like I'm back at the beginning." Just then, Naomi sat beside her. "You okay?" she asked gently. "I don't know," Anya replied. "Everyone speaks so fast. They use words I don't know. I feel behind." Naomi placed a hand on her shoulder. "But when you speak, everyone listens. Your English is clear, strong, and full of heart. You don't need to be fast. You just need to be you." Those words stayed with Anya. The next day, she changed her approach. Instead of worrying about speed or perfection, she focused on connecting. She listened closely, asked questions, and spoke slowly but meaningfully. During the cultural exchange evening, she stood on stage wearing her traditional Indian attire. Behind her was a slide showing her village, green fields, smiling children, her one-room school. She began, "I come from a place where English was once only a dream. But today, it's my bridge to you." She told her story of shyness, of diaries, of teaching students by the river, of the cultural day stage, and of her belief that English was more than just a language. It was a way to bring people closer. When she finished, the room was silent. Then, applause. Long, heartfelt, thunderous applause. After the event, students and mentors came to her. "I cried during your story," one girl said. "You inspired me to teach," said another. "You made English feel human," a mentor whispered. That night, Anya sat by the window in her dorm, looking at the London lights. She opened her notebook. "Today I saw the power of words, not perfect words, but true words. English is not about showing off. It's about showing up." She realized that her journey wasn't just hers anymore. Her voice had become a light for others. The next morning, she was invited to co-host a podcast recorded by the university, called Voices of Youth. She was nervous again, but she smiled. She had faced the stage once. She could face the mic too. As she spoke into the microphone, telling her story once more, she thought of her students, her village, her family. And she said clearly, "If I can do it, anyone can." Fluency is not magic. It's daily courage. Chapter 6, Home with a New Voice. Anya stepped off the train, her suitcase in one hand, a warm breeze on her face. Her village looked the same dusty paths, the same fields stretching to the horizon, but something had changed. Her. As she walked down the familiar road, children ran up to her, laughing and shouting. "Dee Dee, you came back." Priya and the other students were waiting in front of the school, holding flowers and waving homemade banners. Anya smiled. Her heart was full. The village organized a welcome event that evening. Everyone gathered under the stars. Lights strung across the schoolyard. The aroma of samosas and chai in the air. Anya stood on stage once more, but this time, she wasn't just sharing a personal story, she had a mission. "I traveled across the world," she said in English, slowly and clearly, "and I learned something powerful. English is not about being perfect. It's about being understood. It's about opening doors." She paused, then continued in Hindi, "And now, I want to open that door for all of you." The crowd clapped. Her parents, sitting in the front row, beamed with pride. The next day, Anya began a new chapter, not just in her life, but in her village. She created the Global English Circle, a learning group for anyone who wanted to improve their English. Not just students, but farmers, tailors, shopkeepers, and homemakers joined. "I may be 52, but I want to learn too," said one uncle. "I want to speak with tourists," said a tea stall owner. "I want to help my children with homework," said a mother. Every evening, the school filled with voices, mistakes, laughter, efforts, progress. They learned through songs, short stories, podcasts, and conversation games. Anya made English simple, fun, and local. She wrote stories set in their village. She used their lives as vocabulary lessons. One day, a teenager asked her, "But Didi, what if I want to do what you did? Can someone like me go to London?" Anya looked into his eyes and said, "Why not? I was just like you." It starts with one step. That's when an idea sparked. She started a YouTube channel called English from Our Village. Her goal, to teach English using her story, her people, her place. Her first video featured her and Priya under the banyan tree. "Hello friends," Anya said into the camera. "Today we learn how to introduce ourselves in English." They smiled, stumbled, laughed, and learned. Soon, comments poured in. "I'm from Bangladesh. Your lessons help me so much. Please do more stories. Your accent is clear and easy to understand." One day, her inbox pinged again. It was Lisa, the advisor from London. "Anya, I've seen your YouTube channel. You've turned your learning into leadership. We'd like to offer you a grant to expand your global English circle and create free resources for rural communities. Congratulations." Anya covered her mouth in shock. She called her parents, then ran to the school to share the news. "This is not just for me," she told her students. "This is for all of us. We are building something bigger now." She began writing her first English book, Speak from the Heart, My Journey to Fluency, to inspire others. The school upgraded its library with English books, the YouTube channel crossed 50,000 subscribers, and more villages started contacting Anya for help. But she never forgot the little girl who once sat quietly, afraid to speak. She kept her old diary close. On the last page, she wrote, "Fluency is not a place. It's a path. I walk it every day, with courage, with community, with love." And so, Anya's voice, once small and hesitant, now echoed far and wide, teaching, inspiring, and building bridges across the world. Chapter 7, From the Village to the World Stage. Anya stood in front of her closet, staring at two outfits, one, a modern blazer and trousers, the other, a graceful kurta stitched by her mother. She smiled and chose the kurta. It wasn't just clothing, it was her identity. She was flying to New York. The United Nations had invited her to speak at the annual Global Language and Literacy Conference. Her story, how she learned English in a small Indian village and used it to teach others, had gone viral. Her YouTube channel had crossed 100,000 subscribers. Her students' progress was being talked about in classrooms and seminars around the world. But she was still Anya. Still the girl who once feared a single sentence in English. When she arrived in New York, everything felt fast. Taxis honked constantly, screens flashed lights and ads, and people moved like they were always late. The hotel room had 20 buttons just for the lights. "I'm not in the village anymore," she whispered with a laugh. At the conference, the room was filled with experts, linguists, authors, professors, and ambassadors. The schedule had names she had seen only in books. And now, hers was on the list too. Backstage, her hands trembled slightly. She opened her old diary and found the line she had once written, "English is not about showing off. It's about showing up." She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and stepped onto the stage. The spotlight warmed her face. The room fell silent. Namaste, she began, her voice calm. I am Anya. I come from a small village in India where English was once a stranger. Today, I speak to you not just in English, but through it. She told them about her diary days, about reading children's books out loud, about the cultural day where her voice had first cracked open. She spoke of her students, farmers, mothers, children, learning English not to sound fancy, but to understand the world better. I am not here because I spoke perfect English, she said. I am here because I believed imperfect English could still carry powerful stories. The audience leaned in. I teach with my heart. I teach the way I learned, step by step, slowly, with laughter, with kindness. And now, my students teach others. This is how change begins, with one word, one voice, one village. When she finished, the applause didn't stop. People rose to their feet. Tears glistened in a few eyes. After the speech, a professor from Brazil approached her. Your method, it's brilliant in its simplicity. We need to bring it to our rural schools. A translator from Vietnam said, You've shown us that English isn't about accents. It's about access. The next day, she sat on a panel discussion with educators from 6 countries. Anya shared how she used everyday things, markets, festivals, local stories, to teach vocabulary and grammar. She shared the success of her YouTube channel, where she used the same methods in short, fun videos. Someone from the audience asked, What's your biggest dream now? She paused, then answered, to build an online platform for learners in every small village and town, where English is taught not with fear, but with joy. By the end of the conference, she had more than just applause, she had partners. NGOs, tech companies, and universities offered support. The Global English Circle was no longer just a village initiative, it was becoming a movement. On her flight home, she looked out of the airplane window once again. The sky stretched wide, and her heart did too. She opened her diary and wrote, Today I spoke to the world. Not because I was the loudest, but because I didn't stop speaking. As the sun rose over the clouds, she smiled. This was not the end of her journey. It was just the beginning of a larger story, one that belonged not just to her, but to every learner who ever doubted they could be fluent. Chapter 8: Building Bridges Across Borders. Back home in her village, Anya sat at her small desk, laptop open, a notebook filled with ideas beside her. After the conference, her inbox had flooded with messages from educators, volunteers, tech experts, and learners eager to join her mission. She knew it was time to build something new, an online platform where English learners from rural areas around the world could connect, learn, and grow together. She called it Voices United. The first step was to assemble a team. Using video calls and emails, Anya spoke with experts from Brazil, Vietnam, Nigeria, and beyond. They shared stories of challenges learners faced in their countries: lack of teachers, no internet, fear of speaking. Together, they designed a simple, friendly platform accessible on phones and low-speed internet. It featured videos, practice exercises, interactive games, and a community forum where learners could practice English with each other and with volunteer tutors. Anya insisted the content stay warm and personal. English is a tool, she told her team. But we teach stories. Real stories about real people. That's how we make learning alive. Her first video series on the platform showed learners how to introduce themselves, using phrases she once practiced under the banyan tree. I am Anya. I am a teacher. I love my village, she said simply, smiling. The platform launched quietly at first. Word spread through social media, village meetings, and even radio announcements in remote areas. Messages began pouring in. A mother in Nigeria wrote, "My children are finally excited to learn English." A farmer in Nepal sent a video of himself practicing new words. A grandmother in Mexico thanked Anya for giving her confidence to speak to her grandchildren's teachers. Anya read every message. Each one reminded her why she started. One day, during a live online event, a young man from a small town in Peru nervously introduced himself in English for the first time. "Hello, my name is Carlos. I want to learn English to help my family." The chat exploded with cheers and encouragement. Anya smiled and said, "Carlos, this is just the start. You are part of Voices United. Together, we speak, we learn, we grow." The platform also hosted storytelling contests where learners shared their own journeys in English. Some wrote poems, others told stories of hope, courage, and dreams. Anya's own students began sharing videos from her village, inspiring learners everywhere. She often thought back to her first days, reading quietly, struggling to speak. Now, thousands of voices rose together, imperfect, brave, united. Anya wrote again in her diary. Fluency is a journey shared. Every voice matters. Every story counts. The mission grew beyond language. It became a movement of empowerment, connection, and hope. And Anya knew this was the power of speaking English fluently, not just to be heard, but to hear and uplift others. Chapter 9: Challenges and Choices. The excitement of success was real, but so were the challenges. Anya sat late into the night, eyes tired but mind racing. The Voices United platform was growing fast, thousands of new users, dozens of requests for help, messages from volunteers across the world. She felt proud but overwhelmed. Her phone buzzed constantly with emails and calls. Her small village home had turned into a hub of activity, with young volunteers helping record videos and manage social media. But Anya missed quiet moments. She missed sitting with her parents, hearing their stories, drinking tea without rushing. One evening, after a long day of meetings and planning, she received a message from Priya. "Didi, we miss you at school. You've been so busy. Are you okay?" Anya smiled but felt a pang of guilt. She realized that while she was reaching the world, her own roots were pulling her back. Balancing the global mission and personal life was harder than she imagined. She decided to take a step back, to slow down and organize. Anya gathered her closest volunteers for a meeting. "We have grown so much," she said. "But if we burn out, the mission fails. We must build a team that shares the work and cares for each other. Together, they created a system where local leaders in different countries took responsibility for their communities. Anya would focus on guiding and inspiring. She also set daily time to be with family and herself, moments to reflect, rest, and recharge. Slowly, the pressure lifted. She found new strength in delegation and trust. One day, as she sat under the banyan tree with her parents, her father asked, "Anya, what is the hardest part of your journey?" She thought for a moment. "The hardest part is learning when to speak and when to listen. When to act and when to rest. When to lead and when to follow." Her mother nodded and said, "Balance is the secret to everything." Anya smiled, feeling the truth of those words. She opened her diary and wrote, "Fluency is more than words. It is learning to listen, to others and to yourself. The journey is long, but every step teaches me new strength." That evening, she recorded a new video for Voices United. "Hello friends," she said warmly, "today we talk about balance. Not just in English, but in life. Remember, speaking well includes knowing when to pause and breathe." The comments flooded in. "Thank you for reminding us. Balance is so important. Your story inspires me every day." Anya knew this chapter was just another step on a long road. The path to fluency was never perfect or easy. But with every challenge, she grew stronger. And with every choice, she moved closer to her dream, a world where every voice mattered, every story was heard, and every learner found their way. Chapter 10: The Community Center, A Dream Comes True. After months of planning, fundraising, and countless phone calls, the day finally arrived. Anya stood outside a small but bright building at the edge of her village. The sign read, "Voices United Learning Center." It wasn't just bricks and mortar. It was a place where stories, voices, and dreams would grow. Inside, colorful posters decorated the walls, English words paired with pictures of local plants, animals, and festivals. There were bookshelves filled with children's books, tablets for online lessons, and a cozy corner with beanbags for storytelling sessions. Anya's students, children, adults, farmers, shopkeepers, gathered eagerly. Their faces lit with excitement and hope. She looked around, feeling a wave of gratitude. This center was the fruit of a dream she had nurtured through every challenge, every lesson, every spoken word. The first class began with a simple greeting, "Welcome to Voices United. Today we speak English, we share stories, and we learn together." She watched a shy young girl raise her hand and say, "My name is Mira. I want to be a teacher one day." Anya smiled. The circle of learning was growing. The center also connected with the Voices United platform online. Learners from other villages and countries joined live sessions, sharing greetings and stories. Technology and tradition met beautifully. Anya's parents helped organize cultural events, where learners practiced English by telling folk tales and singing songs. One afternoon, a volunteer from Canada arrived with a gift, a set of English storybooks donated by a library. The children gathered around as Anya read aloud, her voice steady and warm. She thought about her first days, when English was a mystery, when she was afraid to speak. Now, she was the storyteller, the guide, the bridge. Her diary entry that night read, A dream born in a village, shared with the world, returned home to bloom. This center is more than a building. It is a home for voices, new, brave, and full of hope. Anya knew the journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more lessons, more voices to hear. But for now, she basked in the joy of this moment. Fluency was no longer just about speaking English. It was about building community. About listening as much as talking. About opening doors, one word, one story at a time. And as the sun set over the village, laughter and conversation filled the center. Anya smiled, ready for whatever came next. Chapter 11. Stories of Change and Hope. At Voices United Learning Center, every day brought new stories, stories of courage, growth, and hope. One morning, Anya met Raju, a young farmer who had never spoken English before. Raju shyly told her, "I want to sell my crops in the city. But I don't know how to talk to customers." Anya smiled gently. "We will learn together." With practice, Raju began using simple English phrases. Soon, he confidently talked to buyers and even started sending messages on his phone. His eyes sparkled with pride. Then there was Lila, a grandmother who joined to understand her grandchildren's school lessons better. At first, English words were confusing. But with patience and help from other learners, Lila grew confident. One day, she proudly read a story aloud during class. Tears of joy filled her eyes. She said, "I can now help my family." There was also Mira, the young girl from the opening day. She dreamed of becoming a teacher and inspired her friends to work hard. Her favorite sentence was, "Practice makes perfect." At Voices United, learners from all ages and backgrounds shared stories. Some spoke of dreams of travel. Others wanted better jobs. Many wished to connect with their children's schools. Each story was unique, but all shared one hope: to speak English fluently and live a better life. Anya often gathered the learners for storytelling nights. Under the stars, they took turns sharing their journeys in English. Laughter, encouragement, and applause filled the air. Anya realized fluency was about more than words. It was about courage, community, and the power to change. Her diary read, "Every voice at Voices United is a spark. Together, we light a fire of hope and learning that no challenge can extinguish." Anya looked around at the smiling faces, her students, her friends, her family. She knew the journey would continue. And she was ready. Because fluency, she learned, is a story written by many voices, growing stronger every day. Chapter 12. Reflections and Words of Wisdom. As the seasons changed, Anya found quiet moments to think back on her journey. From the shy girl who whispered English words under a banyan tree to the leader of a global learning community, her path had been full of surprises, challenges, and joy. She opened her diary and wrote, "Learning English is not just about speaking words. It is about finding your voice, sharing your story, and believing in yourself." Anya thought about the lessons she had learned, lessons she wanted to share with every learner. First, she reminded herself that making mistakes is natural. "Don't fear mistakes," she often said. "Mistakes are proof that you are trying." Every mistake is a step forward. Second, she spoke of patience. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, she explained. It takes time, practice, and kindness to yourself. Third, she believed in the power of practice. Speak as much as you can. Listen to English every day, songs, stories, conversations. The more you practice, the more confident you become. She also believed in community. Find friends who support your learning. Share your stories. Learn from each other. Anya smiled as she remembered her own struggles and triumphs. She recorded a new video message for Voices United. Hello, friends. Today, I want to tell you that your journey matters. Whether you speak a few words or many, keep going. Your voice is powerful. Your story is important. Together, we grow fluent, not just in English, but in courage and connection. She read messages from learners. Your story inspires me. Thank you for helping me believe. I'm proud to speak English now. Anya felt a deep sense of peace. Her journey was more than learning a language, it was about growth, hope, and connection. She closed her diary with a smile and wrote her final thought for the day. Fluency is a journey of the heart as much as the mind. Keep speaking, keep dreaming, and never give up. The future was bright. And Anya was ready to walk it, one word at a time. Chapter 13, Looking Ahead, Dreams That Never End. As the sun rose over the village, Anya stood by the window of the Voices United Learning Center, thinking about the future. Her journey had changed so many lives, hers included. But she knew there was still more to do. With a heart full of hope, she began to dream bigger. She imagined new learning centers in distant villages, where children and adults could gather to speak English and share stories. She dreamed of creating videos and podcasts that reached even the most remote corners of the world. Her phone buzzed, a message from a volunteer in Africa, asking for help starting a Voices United group. Anya smiled. The dream was growing. She knew that true fluency wasn't just about perfect grammar or pronunciation. It was about connecting hearts across cultures and languages. She planned to organize international events where learners could meet, speak, and inspire each other. One afternoon, Anya sat with her parents and shared her vision. My dream is to make a world where no voice is too small, no story unheard, she said softly. Her father nodded proudly. Your journey shows us all what is possible when you believe and work hard. Anya opened her diary and wrote. The future is a story still waiting to be told. Every voice, every dream, adds a new page. Together, we build a world where learning is a gift for everyone. That evening, she recorded a message for Voices United. Hello, friends. Our journey continues. Let's keep dreaming, keep speaking, and keep believing in the power of our voices. Together, we can change the world, one word at a time. She looked outside at the stars, feeling a deep sense of peace. The path ahead was full of promise. And with every story told, every voice heard, Anya knew the future was bright. Because fluency is more than language. It is hope. It is connection. It is the courage to dream. Anya's story is one of courage, determination, and the power of dreams. From a shy girl in a small village to the founder of the Voices United Learning Center, Anya showed us that speaking English fluently is about more than words. It's about believing in yourself, practicing every day, and never giving up. Her journey teaches us that mistakes are part of learning, patience is a friend, and community can turn dreams into reality. Through Anya's example, we learned that fluency connects hearts and minds across cultures. It opens doors to new opportunities and builds bridges where none existed before. Anya's work reminds us that learning a language is a lifelong journey filled with hope, stories, and friendship. No matter where you are in your English learning, remember her words: keep speaking, keep dreaming, and never give up. Thank you for joining us in Anya's journey. May her story inspire you to find your own voice and share it with the world. The adventure continues for all of us, one word at a time.